Coming up on this episode of the Preston North End Weekend Warm-Up, we start the look ahead to the trip to Watford, and our very special guest is John Macken. All that and so much more, it can only be the Preston North End Weekend Warm-Up. Hello again, and a super warm welcome to this latest episode, and loads to fit in, so let's crack on. 4 games unbeaten. In the last 2 in Deepdale, we've picked up 4 points. So let's go back to Saturday and the 2-1 win against Wigan Athletic.
Ledson intercepts a poor ball for Wigan. Now it's Cannon who's waiting with the support, and he shoots anyway, and it's just wide. Well, the goal is going to come for Tom Cannon, that's for sure. He hasn't scored as yet since his arrival on loan from Everton. Fernandez does well. Ledson just got caught in 2 minds there, and he's got caught out. This is Ashley Fletcher now on the edge of the box. Sends it back to the left-hand side. Diaby trying to get the block in. The shot is in, and it's been turned in from Greg Cunningham as well. It'll be an own goal. Now Callum Lang, who's central and a long way out, and drives the shot forward straight at the goalkeeper, and a good save from Freddie Woodman. Cannon sees it drop down to Daniel Johnson. He's moving forward at pace here, and he gives it back to Cannon down the left-hand side. Parrott joins Johnson in the penalty area. Johnson gets to it. The goalkeeper has come and missed it. Johnson's gone down in the penalty area, and it is a penalty. Well, Daniel Johnson's won it. It was his endeavour and his chase, and he just got to the ball in front of Ben Amos. It's Daniel Johnson versus Ben Amos here from the spot. Johnson's ready with his staggered run-up. He hits it and scores! Brilliantly taken from Daniel Johnson, and that means much to him. The crowd give that Deepdale roar. Great message to send out to the fans as well, who have not particularly been with him recently. Here's Cannon now. This could be his chance to get on the score sheet. Aims towards goal, and he scores! He's done it! The moment has come, and Tom Cannon gets his first goal for the club, and the Lily Whites have turned it around at the start of this second half. We knew it was only a matter of time, and Tom Cannon does keep his composure to find the bottom corner. So many bodies in that front post area as it heads towards there again, and it's Liam Lindsay who got his head to it. It comes back out to Sinani on his left foot, tries to deliver it. Brilliant save by the goalkeeper, and the rebound is put over as well. It's going to be a corner. It's a long range effort drilled in by Asgard, but it was blocked, and this time it's Fernandez who couldn't quite keep it in. Robbie Brady's continuing to berate the Wigan player here. The two of them not happy, and they're continuing to square up as the referee tries to get in between the two of them. I think it's Sinani who is being called over by the referee. It's a yellow card for the Wigan man, and presumably a yellow card for Brady as well. It is. The goalkeeper Amos is a long way out, but he gets to it. Brady controls it again on the halfway line before running onto it again. Heavy challenge from Asgard is going to be stopped by the referee, and it's going to be another yellow card for Brady, and he's been sent off. So North End are going to end the game with 10 men.
Right, let's get into our former player interview now. And this week we've got John Macken. 2 parts, second part coming up later in the show. But let's start with him coming to Preston North End from Manchester United, the first of 5 years at North End. But why did he choose Preston? Could he remember the moment? Of course he could, he's John Macken.
I remember the time exactly, yeah. It was, I'd just been actually offered a contract at United to stay there, another year's pro contract. I'd spoken to a couple of others, and then I think it came about because Colin Murdoch had just signed, hadn't he? And he kind of messaged me or got in touch. I don't think I had a mobile phone at the time, so he couldn't message me. But he got in touch in one way or another, and it was a case of, sorry, there he is.
All right. Hello, mate.
Yeah. Say hello. Hello.
Hi. Hiya.
Hello. Say hello then.
He's thinking, who is that, Grandad?
Yeah, and anyway, so he just said, "Oh, I think Preston are interested," and then that was kind of it. I'd made up my mind, you know. I wanted to come. Obviously, I went and met Gary Peters, and I was sold, you know. And I signed that exactly straight away. But it was a very easy decision for me in terms of what I seen the club, how I seen the club, and my decision to leave Manchester United at the time was all based on, well, I wanted to go and have a career. I wanted to go and make my own career. You know, I didn't want to wait around and hopefully, you know, maybe make it or get a chance at Manchester United. I'll get a couple of games. I wanted to go and play professional football players, and I knew exactly what Preston was about. I knew obviously one or two of the players. I didn't know them personally, but you know, realised who they was, and you know, I was sold straight away.
So that first season when you joined North End, you scored 3 in your first 6, including that goal on your Deepdale debut against Millwall. But it was sort of ups and downs that first year, wasn't it? Is it fair to say it took you a little time to fully settle in at North End?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be the first to admit, you know, it was a bit of a culture shock when I first went in, and I wouldn't say, you know, it was just more of a culture. It was just more of a culture shock because it was the intensity of, you know, day in day out men's football. It was just constant. It was, you know, and you had to be at your top level every day in training, for match days, and it was so important. You know, can you see me still? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
it
still
was
here.
so important for the fans. It was so important for the club. You know, and the players as individuals and collectively. And I suppose that really was the eye opener for me. You know, I wasn't probably as fit as I should be. You know, because coming through the youth ranks and everything, you know, you are a fit, you do work on your fitness and so forth, but you don't have that same intensity, you know, and the mentality that you have to have and show. So yeah, it did take me a little bit to settle in, and like you say, you know, when you always want a good start as a player, especially as a striker, you know, scoring on my debut as well, on the home debut, was fantastic, but you know, it was tough at the beginning.
Pre-seasons, I seem to remember when we've had a chat about North End in the past, you told me about pre-seasons were a little bit tougher maybe as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, you see, I'd missed the pre-season as well that year because I was away with England in Malaysia in the World Cup there, and I couldn't back, and I missed like the pre-season for United because I was allowed an extra week off from Sir Alex Ferguson. He gave me an extra week off, and then it was all kind of in and out of North End, and you know what I mean. So I think I actually signed the day North End was over in the Isle of Man on their tour, you know, playing games. So I did miss the pre-season really, which obviously, you know, it took its toll. And sometimes when you do miss a pre-season, it takes its toll. But going back to, you know, what you mentioned, the pre-seasons under David Moyes were tough, very, very tough. And I'd still, you know, I'd still say they were the toughest ones that I ever did, I ever participated in, because it was unbearable at times. But you knew once you got through it, you knew what level you'd be at, and you knew what standard you'd be at, and so, you know, it was great to be part of that.
Just as an aside there, before we get back to North End, because you've just triggered something in my mind saying you'd gone across to play for the England under 20s, I think it was, wasn't it? Was it under 20s? And then later on, you represented Ireland. And I've got to say that because there's a decent sized Irish community in and around Preston, as well as this weekend showed for the cup final, for the Scottish Cup final. And Brian Kerr speaks very, very highly of you. It was Brian that called you up, and he said that you were good enough to have played more regularly, but it was just maybe his injuries that didn't let you do that. So he asked me to pass that on, so I've passed that on.
You know what? He's a fantastic man, Brian, and you know, I'll always be thankful for him for giving me that opportunity. And like I say, he was a great manager and a great man as well, and I'll always be thankful for him, you know, because he gave me that opportunity, which, you cherish them. You know, you cherish it, don't you, for all your life? I mean, it was only one, but that's one more than many people was able to do, and I was able to do that, and I'm so thankful for it, and I'm so grateful, and I was privileged to be given that opportunity. I was injured quite regularly, during that period where it was in and out, which was frustrating. I look back now, and it probably, I think could I have done more? I'm not sure I could have, because it was just one injury after another, and it was just continuous. And did that hold me back a little bit from getting more caps and progressing? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about good times then, because you had plenty of them at North End. I'm probably not going to talk about the playoffs unless you want to. Did it? No, not. But yeah,
because it's something I don't mind talking about, because obviously the older you get, you tend to realise, what, in my opinion, what went wrong and the way we approached it, I suppose. And that's nothing to do with anybody else. I just think us as players, the way we approached it was.
It was Gillingham first, wasn't it? Gillingham was horrible. Yeah. Well, I'm quite happy to put Gillingham in the bin forever. Bolton, from a fan's perspective, I mean, we've hated the playoffs until more recently, at least anyway. Yeah. But that day at Bolton, against Bolton at Cardiff, it didn't quite work, did it?
It didn't. I mean, and do you know what? I think we was fantastic that season. We really was, as a group. We were so, and we believe we could beat anybody in the division. We really did, and we could on our day. And I think the semi-final was a fantastic occasion. It was. I wouldn't say it took everything out of us. But when you emotionally go through like the way we did, it's kind of, people say, was that the final? Was that? But I don't agree with that to a certain extent. But I think the occasion got to us more so than it did to Bolton. Bolton played a cup final. We was kind of playing the occasion, it felt like, and that's upsetting for me, because it was that one and only chance that I had in a Preston shirt to get into, the Premier League, the top division, and I regret it now. But I still use that experience now when I'm talking to people or I'm doing my managing, and I'm talking about certain situations, because it was such an eye opener when you look back and you think about, how I approached it. I can't speak for anybody else, but in my opinion, the way we approached it, we kind of played the occasion, and it got to us. It got the better of us. Where you just look at Bolton, and I think then they were so focused on winning the football match first and foremost, and then celebrate the occasion after.
Well, let's start to look ahead now to that trip to Watford at the weekend in the Championship, and we'll do that by looking back. Our retro match this week is from 2000-2001 season. We did the double over Watford, but we'll look at the 3-2 away from home, and of course, Johnny Macken getting in the goals.
Appleton looks for Meyer. Appleton continues his run. If Meyer can find him, he can. There's a chance here. Great whipsy cross. Macken gets in front of his marker, and that is 1-0 to Preston North End. 31 minutes gone, and Preston take the lead. It was a superb 1-2 with Eric Meyer. Appleton, with his left foot, curls it in. Macken gets in front of Page and puts the ball in the back of the net. McKenna. Oh, Kidd slips. Got to try and get back in. Oh, Mooney's on his own. And Tommy Mooney equalises for Watford 7 minutes after Preston take the lead. Lucas falls to Meyer. Comes to Ian Anderson. Meyer continues his runs, hands go up from the Watford players, but Rankin's got in at the near post, and that's put Preston back into the lead. Well, they let Meyer run on. They thought he was offside. He managed to get the cross in, and Mark Rankin steals in at the near post, gets his header in, hits the underside of the bar, and that puts Preston 2-1 in the lead. 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Watford on the attack again. Moving the ball around nicely in the front of the box. He's having a strike. and that has found the back of the net. Steve Palmer with a superb right foot strike, giving David Lucas no chance. Comes to Rob Edwards. McKenna. Well, that should be a Watford throw. McKenna's going to take it, and the referee said play on. Macken's with a chance now. Well, that's a good turn. McKenna back on with a chance to pull it back. And there's Anderson, and that is a superb goal by Ian Anderson. 54 minutes gone, and Preston take the lead again. Well, McKenna jumped out of a tackle from a Watford player, took the throw in when it should have gone for Watford, carried on with his run. Great pull back. Anderson on the edge of the box, tucks it into the corner.
Well, let's get back into the John Macken interview. Now, in part one, you heard about him coming to Preston North End and those pesky playoffs. Let's talk about promotion season, when we won Division 2 and Macken scored, 25 goals? Most of those in the league. The mini cup runs as well. Fantastic for fans to watch it. But what was it like, from John's perspective, to play in?
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable because obviously it was the first season that I had a good run in the team, and I was injury free, and like I say, the pre-season was was tough, really tough, and it was just a case of building the team, which obviously David Moyes did, and he was a fantastic manager. He was a fan, he's a great person, fantastic manager, great coach. I couldn't praise him highly enough, really, and he got us super fit, but he also got us mentally tough, which is, it's a big thing in the league because it's a tough season and there's going to be ups and downs, but we were so mentally tough and we were all together in terms of a group that, we believed, we believed from the very first game. I think it was Oldham, wasn't it? That was the first game we played. That was it. Not sure. But anyway, we believed we could be successful. We always believed that would be challenging. But to go and win it the way we did, it was just a fantastic achievement.
I've written down on here. I could talk to you for hours and hours and hours, but I know you've got a grandson to look after, and we might do this at some point in the future. But that was the first season of squad numbers for the Football League, at least, and the Premier League. So why did you choose 17? Or did you?
Because, I did. I wanted 9, if I'm perfectly honest. And obviously so did everybody else. The other strikers as well. So it was a case of, right, well, there's only one 9 shirt. So you had to pick 2 numbers, and mine was 9 and 17, which, I look back at it now, and 17, it's a bit of an iconic number for myself, you know what I mean? And you look at it and I just think, well, yeah, that's my number now.
So was there a particular reason why 17, or just because?
No, just total random. I just picked it, and then it stuck. And it's amazing how little things trigger off other aspects of your life after that, doesn't it?
If you're doing the lottery, is 17 one of the numbers now?
Yeah, that's a crazy thing, And if I'm looking for different shirts, they say, "Oh, he's 17" and stuff. And I just think it's fantastic anyway, the way things happen like that. And from being, I suppose, disappointed not to be given the number 9 shirt, to creating your own number and a bit of your own kind of legacy in a way, in terms of, well, that's the number that people will remember now at North, not just North End, but myself and my family.
Yeah, brilliant. I knew there'd be something connected to it eventually, and I was looking at quite a lot of your old. Well, I say old, it probably was a long time ago now, but a lot of your goals that you scored at North End. And if you go on YouTube, there's all sorts of highlights and stuff on that. Do you ever, with the little one who we saw before, do you ever show him? Do you ever go, there's granddad? Or do your kids ever watch them? Or do they still now? They've grown up now, obviously, but.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously, when they YouTube things and when they, they see things, and it's funny. I think my nephew, he's at Blackburn at the minute, and we're looking forward to it. Hopefully, he'll be on the bench tonight for Blackburn. So he's only 18, and obviously he's come through and we watch it, and it's just like you said, where I work as well. They do things which is, when they show YouTube, and they say, "Oh, we've seen all your goals and we've seen this," and it's just fantastic because the Preston ones, where I obviously scored the majority of my goals, it's just reconnects with them memories and them thoughts of fantastic times.
We'll try and dig some of them out to stick them on the North End channels as well this week. I'm sure that they will go down well. Just finally, thanks for this, by the way. Like I said, I know I could talk to you for hours with this, but you're probably
no problem.
ready to get off. But I don't think anybody begrudged you going off to Manchester City and playing at the highest level that you could in the Premier League and what have you. How do you look back at your time at North End, and what sort of a decision was that? And I suppose the one game that we didn't mention was that Manchester City game.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Keegan, that was the game that he probably clocked you, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was, well, it was a strange one because when he was Fulham manager, there was a lot of rumours that he wanted to sign me there as well. When he was at Fulham, I don't know how true that is, but it was rumours that he was circulating. So and obviously you put two and two together and you think, when he was at City, would he want to? And once again, the rumours were around at the time, but I didn't really know anything about City at the time. I didn't know anything was coming around about Man City. Obviously, I knew other bids were coming in from different teams, which was fair enough. But I just signed a new contract at North End as well. You know what I mean? I'd just done it, and I was really refocused on playing for Preston and trying to get Preston up. And then it just, the City one come out the blue, and it was, I think it was, I'm sure we might have been playing Millwall again, which obviously another connection, as I scored my first goal, it was Millwall away. And I just walked in and, David Moyes, he come in. I think I might have been getting a rub off Baz, and he come in and he said, come and see me in here. And he said, listen, we've accepted a bid for you. I went, what? I said, I've just signed. He went, no, we've accepted a bid. It's Man City, blah, blah, blah. I went, well, obviously, I'd like to speak to him. And he went, yeah, of course. And then you kind of knew, everything was going to get sorted. And I was really upset to be leaving North End. I really, really was. It was a fantastic club. I would have spent my whole career there if possible. That's how much affection and how much love I've got for the football club. And it was just a case of, it was Man City. They come in for me. The bid was accepted, and we agreed everything else. And the rest is history, really.
But thanks so much for that. I think it's fair to say there's a lot of love towards you from North End. That anytime you want to go to North End, I'm sure you get a hero's rapturous return welcome.
Yeah, no, listen, I love the football club, and I'm always looking out for the results. And like I say, in the future, you just never know. I'd love to be there in one capacity or other and finish off what maybe we should have done a couple, in the playoff final. But as I say, you never know. It's an ambition of mine anyway to go back and be part.
Right, let's keep on with that Watford build-up now and the views from right here at the training ground in Exton. And we'll start with the manager, Ryan Lowe.
Yeah, they should be there, shouldn't they? They've just come down from the Premier League. They've got some fantastic quality, and they've got a manager who knows what to do and how to do it, and has been there before and got teams out of the division and managed in the Premier League. So, yeah, we're under no illusion. It's going to be a tough task, but I think our positive mindset of late and the performances of late have been fantastic, and we want to continue that, regardless who it is. We'll go there and give a good account of ourselves, definitely.
You mentioned during the week that you've not actually been there yourself as well, so is it nice to almost to
get
to...
Yeah, it will be, yeah. I think it's, I definitely haven't been there. I was trying to jog my memory back whether I've been to watch Liverpool there, but I haven't. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. And I don't know whether some of the boys have played there, but it's a good atmosphere, it's a good football club. And you're coming up against one of the, the best teams in the division in terms of where they've come from and the players they've got. So yeah, we're really looking forward to the test ahead, yeah.
Right, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on your notifications so as soon as we put anything else on this channel, you will be the first to know. And some logistics for you. If you're thinking of going to Watford, but you haven't got a ticket yet, you can go down there and pay on the day, but it's cash only. Derby Day, April the 1st. Tickets now on sale. All details for that are on the Preston North End official website, and the details are also there for Gentry Day and the trip to Middlesbrough if you're thinking of going along. That's it for now. Just remains for me to say thank you so much to Hannah Broadley, whose brainchild that the weekend warm-up was, and has filmed it, edited it, directed it, produced it, written quite a lot of it as well, and kept me in line when I've needed to, and heaven knows I have needed to every now and then. So thank you a million to Hannah for that. I and we will miss her greatly. That's it for now. As always, come on you Whites.